Have you ever found yourself in a hole? The kind that you're not sure how you got there or how you're ever going to find your way out. But if you don't, you're not going to make it. That was me in November of 2008. I was working as hard as I could work. I was trying as hard as I could try. I was fighting as hard as I could fight. But I couldn't create the financial success I had hoped for or the personal fulfillment that I desperately needed. Not just for me, but for my wife, my best friend, and my sons. You see, whatever plan I didn't have for my life, I always knew I wanted to be a husband and a father. And there I was, failing at that. I tried to control as much as I could control, but I could control nothing. And it just came out as anger and frustration and depression. I wasn't being for them who I had always hoped and wanted to be. I wasn't being for me. I wasn't able to do the things that I had hoped I could accomplish in business and in life. You see, I had grown up in a household of discontent. We were loved and cared for, but both of my parents were discontent in their own lives. My mother lived most of her life depressed. My father eventually would commit suicide after several attempts through my teenage years. And I was determined not to repeat that pattern, to not relive the lives that I had so desperately wanted to escape from. My family was one of those that we all wanted to escape from. But there I was, failing. I found myself at the firehouse. I worked as a firefighter for 30 years. I found myself there journaling, wondering if being alive was the best option. I scared myself. I solved other people's problems for a living, but there I am. I can't solve my own. It wasn't an option anymore. I had to figure some things out. What I was doing wasn't working. It, of course, it sent me on a journey. What I first discovered was that most people, I would ask, how do I transform my life? How do I make this transition between the life that I'm living and the life that I want to live, to do the things that I need to do? Most people didn't understand how to do that. They looked at me confused. Just try harder, just work more. But I was already giving as much as I could. That wasn't going to be an option. What I eventually discovered is that creating the results you want financially and in fulfillment in life isn't the result of what you do, but it is the result of how and what you think. And until you understand your thinking, how it works and how to work with it, nothing's going to change. We don't change the world out there. We can't change that world. We can only transform ourselves. We can only go through a process of transitioning between life that was and the life that's going to be through a personal transformation experience. You can produce the results you want, reach the goals you want to reach, create the financial success you hope for, create the impact that you want, the connection that you need through a process of self-mastery. It's not until you understand and have a system for and a structure and a process for transforming your thinking, which leads to the personal transformation, that you're able to respond moment to moment as the uncertainty of life comes at you. You meet challenges that are inevitably going to show up for all of us. Just like we as firefighters responded to uncertainty with a set understanding, set vision for how things were going to turn out, a set of tools, practices, a system. We could predict uncertainty. We could predict emergencies. We too can predict that life is going to be uncertain, and we can practice being who and how we want to be in that uncertainty. While at the same time, we can begin to develop ourselves intentionally, go through a process of self-discovery, a process of personal development, a process of self-mastery that transforms you into the person you need to be to accomplish the goals, to start the things you want to start, to stop the things you know you need to stop, to reach the goals you want to reach, to create the financial success you hope for, impact, love, connection, all of the things that you hope for in life. Life is too short. An unknown limited quantity of time and one of them. And Possibility is personal. You are an unknown potential. Your life represents an unknown possibility. But unless you are empowered to transform yourself, to master yourself, it's going to be lost. It's not going to happen. And that's why I started my company. That's why I coach and teach and talk about the essentials of self-mastery, personal transformation. There is a system. You can understand it. It doesn't have to be a mystery. It requires work and effort and possibly some help. And I would love to be that help for you if you're someone who is determined to create more in your life. That's what we're about. Reach out to me here. Message me here. I would love to hear what you have to think about this. Go to davidlandis.me and we can connect there. I'll talk to you later.